Hello. Hi, ladies. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
How's everybody doing? Give me a second. Let's just let these people in. Let's go. Let's go. What's happening? It's so warm in here. Wow. And it's it's not even summer yet. 94 degrees today. I know. I know. This is crazy. But it's all good. Let's go. Um, Let's see how many of you are going to show up today in this call. What's happening? What is new? Look at you, Priya. Get it in, girl. I love it. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, 5:03, and we got like 4 people. Like, where are you people? What's happening? I know some of you watched the recording, but man, I would love to see more of you live with me. Okay, let's see. There's more coming in, coming in. Let's go. Let me text Radha because she said that she would be on the call. Okay, Radha. Okay, we are on. Okay, just a couple of more minutes and we're gonna get this party started here. Thank you for coming, Swati, Janie. All right. Okay. All right. So Laura's in the house. Okay. All right. One more minute. All right, girls. All right. Happy Monday. Let's go. Another Monday, another week. Just getting this party started here for us. Oh my goodness. Cannot believe that we almost in April. We almost in April, girls. Can you believe this? Hey, Laura. We are almost in April. Time absolutely flies, and you know what is right around the corner, right? Summertime, summertime for a lot of people is a dreadful time of the year because they want to look good, they want to go on vacations, and they have plans and they have these lofty goals, and then they don't either stay consistent enough during the summer so they can actually reap the benefits and the reward, right, of the hard work that they put during the summer, during the winter, so they can enjoy themselves. Or unfortunately, for some of us, the struggle can be a little bit more real and take a little bit longer. But regardless, I think we still have time to really buckle down, girls, and just, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, some of you have been with us for a while, but I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, there is nothing, I swear, there is nothing more rewarding, okay, than when the summer comes and you are finally able to be comfortable in your skin with, I don't care if it's a swimming suit, a one piece, a two pieces, it doesn't flipping matter, okay? You know, and you just like don't have that thing in your head. Does that make sense? It is so worth it. And for some of us, it's not going to be the six packs, right? But it's going to be you being able to wear the shorts that you wanted to wear that you didn't. Wear those cute little dresses that you were not able to wear before, right? It is so rewarding when you do the hard work and you reap the harvest during the summer. It's like seriously, there is no price tag for that, girls. So I really want you to paint that picture for you, what that was going to look like when you go on a vacation. What is it going to look like when you are taking those photos, when you're, getting that tan, and you see what I'm saying? Like, picture that and let that feeling really get in your heart. Because if you are on the funk, this is the time to get out of the funk. No more funk, okay? Like, you need to get out of the funk. Like, you got to make a decision. Like, I'm done with this thing. Like, we've been already on this funk. I feel like, even for me, for a good, I don't know, flipping 90 days since this winter, cold. And I know that for some of you, it's way colder than where I'm at. But my Lord, you come to a point that you're like, I'm just so flipping done of being miserable, like, and being down and it's like, let's enjoy flipping life. You know what I mean? Go get some margarita and just, I don't know, like, enjoy a little bit. So I just want to really pump you up, because it's going to be worth it if you really, tighten the belt for that. Okay. So with that being said, I loved the collaboration, the response that you ladies gave us on the poll. Always would love to see more answers, more people participating, because your opinion matters for us. It really does, right? We are doing this for you, and we, you know, wanted to support you the best way we can. But if we don't get a feedback from you of what you like, what you don't like, is this serving you, is not serving you, then we are just, you know, trying to do our best. But it would be much better if you tell us, what do you need, right? What kind of support do you need? Because for a while we were like, okay, let's just make this call all about mindset. Like for some people, it's all about, the emotions and how they eat their emotions up, and how they, when life hits, they just, fall off the wagon. Let's just keep working with them on the mindset. But I think that we need to have a little bit of both. And regardless, if you have been with us for a while, you have noticed that regardless of what we are coaching, mindset is always going to be part of it, right? So we're always going to drop some kind of mindset gold nugget there. But I love all that you ladies share on that. Let me just go back to the notes Coach Lindsay collected and sent it to me all together. So clients testimony. So one thing, I've noticed, and some of the people commented to us that answered privately on on Trainerize, is that they wish that you ladies would speak more, right? So when we open up and I say, anybody has anything to say, anybody has, what landed for you, how is this impacting you, and you just stay there, right? So I'm going to really challenge you to be a giver, because when you're sitting there just watching, you are pretty much just taking, right? And that's good. That's why you're here. You came here to get some encouragement. You came here to get it. But when you are sharing how it's landing for you, you are giving back to the community, right? And that is really what I want to challenge you to do. So if you have anything in your heart, there is no wrong answer. There is no stupid comment. You know what I mean? What you have to say matters, because sometimes what I say is not going to land to someone the way that you're going to say, and it's going to land. Does that make sense? So I really want you girls to commit to, like, okay, when I'm going to come to the call on Monday, I am going to commit to share something or encourage someone that has shared something or feedback. Obviously, I do not want to have a, how can I say, a negative, down spider, conversation. Everything is about being uplifting. I'm not saying that you can't share your struggles. I think we all have the struggles that we can share, but I don't want it to become like a whining session, right? I want it to become an uplifting, empowering session. If the week, this couple of weeks, for example, you struggled with something and you overcame that with somehow, maybe your coach gave you a gold nugget on a check-in, maybe you pulled yourself up because you listened to a podcast, maybe does that make sense? Anything bring to the community, right? Share with your girls, share with us, okay? Because that's going to support us. So that was one of the things that we noticed. Like, I want to see the comments. I want to see you really putting your heart into this, because you're going to get what you get out. Going to get my charger just listening. Okay, no worries, Laura. So So I would love to see, you ladies committing to that. Can I count with you for that? When you come into the call, you are going to participate, even if it's one phrase, if it's, I love it, I like it, with a heart. Like, I don't care what it is. Can we just start making this a little bit more exciting? And I cannot be the cheerleader with the pom-poms 24/7, okay? I need you. I need you, okay? So let's go. This is a community. So the other thing here is talking to the girls, the coaches, and I was like, why don't we create like series, right? So every month we are going to have like a topic that we are going to focus on. Make sense? So I think that would be a really good thing instead of just, throwing things out there. So that way, what we are talking about. So I love, for example, the strategies that have helped you. Look, this is the funny part, right? I think Swati was the one that said that. Strategies that have helped you ladies with successful cuts. I'm assuming you're talking about us, or you're talking about the people. Which one are you talking about? Like the clients? Because then I had here something that it said clients' testimonials. See what I'm saying? So I would love to have a clarification of that. So I know, because man, I have so many stories about everyone. Okay, love that. Okay. So yeah, so if you're in a program for more than 12 weeks, you have gone through a cut, right? You have gone through a reverse. Actually, no, if you have not, if you have been with us for 6 months, you have gone through a cut for sure. So a cut, it is a total different level of commitment. I think everything's going to be a bigger commitment, but when it comes to the cut, it is a real, like, it's like leg day, right? Upper body day, you go, it's good, right? And you're like, I got this. But leg day, you're like, oh crap, leg day is a real commitment, right? So that's how I see the cut and the reverse. So the reverse is like upper body day, okay? And the cut is like leg day to the core, like first week after you getting your first workout, and you're like, oh shit, where is this machine? What is going on, right? So that is what the cut is, right? It takes real commitment. And the reason for that is because we can only be on the cut for so long. See what I'm saying? So that's the most important thing that you ladies need to get when we go into a cut, is like, okay, it's only 12 weeks. She won't push this thing because, if we do, it's going to mess with your hormones, going to slow down your metabolism. And I am obsessed about that. Okay. So we don't mess with that. We do not mess with that. So if you are one of those that it's coming to the cut, and the dog breaks a leg, and your kid crashes the car, and the husband gets into a fight, and do you really think that that's a time for a cut? See what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand that. But Coach Patricia, I only have so much time in the program. That's why I do flipping promotions. That's why I give my program for almost for free for some of you, so you can actually stay longer and get your results. Does that make sense? But you got to understand that a cut is a luxury, okay? And you cannot just get into a cut. I have a client right now. I wish she was in this call. Diane. First cut, totally crushed it, amazing. Her body responded, boom. Second cut, we're in the middle of the cut, she lost a pound. Okay, the middle of the cut, she lost a pound. She comes to the call last time, and she's like, oh my gosh, she's like one of my one-on-one clients, and she does calls with me every week. And she was just like, so she comes to the call, right? 6 weeks into the cut, 1 pound. And she looks at me and she's like, just really frustrated, like, I don't understand, why my body's blah, 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 and this and that. I'm like, okay. So look the macros, hitting the macros, workouts, great, fiber, good, drinking her water. She's one of those that, crosses every T, dots every I. Business owner, her daughter's in cheerleader, her son is in blah, 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 travels like constant, nonstop. Wonder Woman. And then I asked her, I looked at her, and I already could tell what was going on. I was like, how many hours did you sleep last night? And she's like, 4.5 hours. Okay. How many hours did you sleep the night before? Yeah, this couple of weeks have been really, I think it was about 5 hours. I've been probably averaging about 6 hours. I was like, girl, you look exhausted. You can't even fake it anymore. You're exhausted. Are you constipated? You know what? Actually, yeah, it's not the same. I wonder, right? Because when we rest, ladies, scientifically speaking, our bodies, okay, recover from the workouts, from all the things that we're doing in life, and then our body digests. So it's rest and digest. And we need 7 to 8 hours to accomplish that. So if you are not prioritizing that, you won't be able to recover. You won't be able to poop. You are going to get clogged up. You're going to get inflamed. The body is going to retain it. This is the real stuff that I'm talking about here. This is not just like, oh, Patricia, I heard this before. No, I need you to really listen to this, because that has happened to me before. Last May, girls, there's two things, that happens in the cut that you need to understand. Number one is this stress. Okay, so I told her, I was like, I'm going to give you 1 week to put it together. We talked about her sleeping habits, blah, 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 figured out that there are some things. And then obviously she went back into the bad habits, having a glass of wine because she's too stressed and doesn't want to come home and go to sleep, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? So you go back and you default into your old habits. The body's not going to respond. It's not about just hitting the macros. So when you're going to do a cut, you need to focus on macros, quality of foods, big time. Tanya experienced that big time on one of her cuts. The quality of foods are going to be major. Your workouts and your sleep. Okay, that is not, if you don't have that piece of the puzzle all together, your body will not respond. I'm telling you right now. So that's number one. So I told her, I'm going to give you 1 week. We're going to work on this schedule. You're going to sleep. We're going to put you on a deload, meaning you're going to train a little bit less, meaning you're not going to push your body as much. I'm going to need you to just make sure that you clean your schedule. Let's go to sleep at least 7 to 8 hours. And if this week when we do the check-in, your body's not responding, I'm going to pull you out of the cut for 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to give you a refeed for 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to let you figure out this whole thing with your schedule, delegate who you need to delegate, whatever. But I can't cut you to the bottom of this cut and you already stressed out. This is not going to work, girl. I can't do that to you. Make sense?
Can I add something to that, Coach Patricia?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So there's another client who does a routine, same thing. I think it's her sister, Darren, right?
Oh yeah, that's her sister.
She does amazing, like hits her macros no problem, does her workouts, that sort of thing. But she had trouble losing that little pouch that she has or whatever, right? And when we got her to do her blood test, her glucose was high when she did it fasting. So she would actually wake up and her glucose was high. And it's not related to food or anything. It's actually related to cortisol levels. So right away, we had to get her on to a really good morning routine. We had to get her on a supplement and that sort of thing. But a lot of the time, people that what you don't understand too is when your cortisol levels are high, right? That's where the belly comes in, okay? Because your cortisol is up, glucose can be up, it can spike because of that, right? Sometimes too. So that's why we look at your numbers. We get you to do the glucose testing too, if that's the case. And sometimes, yeah, because the glucose is up, your body's going to store fat, right? Which we don't want it to do. And it has a hard time to process that fat, right? Because it uses it as energy. So this is another thing too, right? When it comes to cuts is really making sure we're managing that stress.
Yeah. So Right, that's the mindset, and I love it because there she was, once again, she was on point, but also very relaxed, and all of a sudden something happened in her business, and I think it just, got her into this new phase, which is normal. I think we need to accept, girls, that's what I told Diane. I said, girls, sometimes we need to accept things, you know what I mean? And we need to be like, we can't just keep pushing it, right? We gotta accept this is the phase that I'm at. Reverse is the same thing, but I'm gonna share this one thing with you because we have a few people that had experienced this. When you come into the program for the first time, okay, I normally have you jump into my 6-month program, right? So then we do a 12 weeks reverse and a 12-week cut, right? And that's strategically put together, okay? Because we know that in the first 90 days of doing progressive overloading and really eating properly and doing the reverse properly is when you are going to build muscle the most, okay? After 90 days, the muscle growth rate is going to start dropping. And it's actually, if you watch Dr. Gabriella Lyon, she teaches on this, that number goes, increases tremendously in the first 90 days, and then it declines and just stay very like steady, and you don't gain as much muscle as you continue with the process, okay, of doing strength training. So, and also because the majority of women that come to work with us, they are under muscle and they are also under eating, right? So we go straight up into the 12 weeks minimum of a reverse. Then we know that we can only do 12 weeks cut, right? So then we do a 12-week cut. Does that make sense? So now we are in the time frame here, right? And we are restrained to this, okay? So then get rid of however your body wants to, whatever your body got rid of. And now you were like, okay, I'm going to resign up to do another round, right? So then we do another reverse and we do another cut, right? And sometimes I do calls with you girls, and I truly, truly, truly try to explain to you that this is a long-term thing, right? It's going to take a year and a half. For some of you, it's going to take 2 years. I was talking to my coach the other day, and she was like, Patricia, this girl here that you keep talking about her, and how she's 53 and she looks like this, that it's like, you know how long it took for her to get to this? 8 years, you know? And I'm like, yeah, like we want it tomorrow, right? But when you're doing this the right way, it does take time because once again, you can only do cuts so many times. So what I'm saying to you is this. Remember that the body, codes everything. It starts to coding everything that is taking place. And the body is constantly in a place of making sure that it has the right amount of energy that it needs to survive. Okay. So much so that once we cut the calories and we stay there for too long, the metabolism is obligated to slow down, okay, to match the level of energy that you're doing. Something else that I personally experienced with cuts and reverse, since I've been doing this for so long, is that I was in the cycle of 12 weeks reverse and 12-week cut because we all want to look better and better every time, right? So I was on this cycle, reverse and cut every 12 weeks on the dot. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay. And I remember working with Brett Contreras, the glute lab guy, whatever. And he said, at some point, you're going to have to make a decision that you're going to go for at least a good year, okay, without a cut. You're just going to go for a year. He gave me examples of some competitors that sometimes they do for 2 years, just building, 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 building. If you really want to see your body going to the next level. Some of us are not as blessed, genetically speaking, as some people are, okay? So, and I didn't believe that, okay? Never went for it. And last May, I did my cut, and I shared this with you ladies already. And I went as low as 1,100 calories. And I only lost 1 pound. Okay. So no matter how much I zigged and I zagged those macros, and what would I say? Oh my gosh, this thing doesn't work. No. What is going on? My body doesn't want to do this. Why my body doesn't want to drop this? Okay. And the reality is my body figured out, your body will figure out that every 90 days, there will be an energy deficiency. After you're done a few times, few rounds, it will figure that out. Okay. It will figure it out and it will lock in. So after that, after 8 weeks, I'm like, I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna push another 4 weeks. I only have 4 weeks. What am I gonna lose in 4 weeks? And I'm already 1,100 calories. Nothing's gonna happen. Okay. So I made a decision to pull, went to Costa Rica because I went to Amy's event there, looked the best way that I could look, whatever. And and then I came back and I just went all in on my reverse. I've been on my reverse since end of May, beginning of June. I just started my cut. So on my cut, girls, I was about 118 pounds, somewhere around there. So on this reverse, I went as high as 126. I started my cut 2 weeks ago. I already lost 5 pounds in 2 weeks. I'm like, what? How? 5 pounds. Okay, not sure. I'm like, okay, so we adjusted a little bit because I don't want to lose that much so fast because I've been, working so hard to put muscle, but it was like shocking to me. Shocking because and honestly, I don't want to go below 115. So now today I just stepped on a scale, was 119.8. I was almost 126 just 2 weeks ago. Okay. So that was like, boom, it proved me, that sometimes you just going to have to chill and stay on a reverse for a while. Because when the body's done with the cutting thing, it will be done. And you have to accept that. It's not that the program is failing. It's not that this macro thing doesn't work. Because trust me, if it doesn't work, I wouldn't be coaching this. It does. Macros is still the best thing out there when it comes to body composition. For hormone balance and for you to feel better, to heal your gut, do we need macros? No. But for body composition, nothing else will do it for you the way that macros will. Make sense? So any questions on this? Because I think this is a important topic because we always want to deliver that to you, that weight loss. But a lot of times, it's not going to happen. That's number one. And number two, if you have done a few times, okay. Number two, if you are too stressed out, you have to recognize that. Be your best friend, right? Be honest with yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, no, okay, wait a minute. This is the reality. That's why we added on the check-in, girls. How many days on the week are you hitting your macros? Because we want you to be honest, not with us, but with yourself. Because we see, I don't need you to be honest with us. If you're logging, we can see how many days you did it or not, right? But if you were like, oh crap, let me go back and count, and you're like, oh, I actually have not been eating my macros, right? See what I'm saying? You got to be honest with yourself when it comes to how consistent you are with the work that you're doing, right? But also be honest with yourself when you are not in the position and you know what is coming up on the pipe with your schedule. You know what is coming up with trips. You know what is coming up with some sickness or somebody you need to take care of. Don't push. Let us know, hey, we actually have something coming up. We're going to have to push this a little bit because you're going to just hurt yourself in the process if you push. Does that make sense? Anybody has any comments on this? Come on. I want to hear the comments. Come on, participate. Let's go. Okay, Laura, I want to hear. What do you got to say? Tanya, let's go, bro.
Yeah, I do have a couple questions. I frequently guess I've been in like a year and 3 or 4 months now, 4 or 5 months, something like that. 3 months. I frequently think to myself, what is the goal and what are we trying to accomplish with each phase of what we're doing? So, I mean, I know we all want to feel better and we all want to look better and be proud of our accomplishments, but what's the ultimate end state goal of reverse cut, reverse cut, reverse cut? And when does it end to be in a maintenance phase, or does that never happen?
I love that question. The um the purpose of the reverse and the cut is to continue improving body composition, right? Is to continue, okay, I want to lose more of this belly fat. The only way to do that is if I put more muscle. Okay, I'm not putting more muscle this way. What is it that I need to do to on my next reverse to be able to put more muscle, right? For me, especially when I did my DEXA scan, I saw that I had lost muscle mass. And I was just like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to be 50. I cannot afford to be losing muscle mass. Like, why am I losing muscle mass? Do I need to bump my testosterone? Right? Did I take some peptides to help me with that too? Because naturally speaking, I just can't. Yeah. And I figured some things out to be able to put more muscle. Does that make sense? So it really is based on your goals. It really is based on how far do you want to take your body composition? How strong do you want to look at whatever? What is your goal? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's really about the goals that you have and improving that body composition. I could say at some point that I was done and I could do a maintenance. I have done that before. But I also noticed that we are constantly against the clock at this age. We are constantly fighting gravity, if you will, what is coming against us. And even for the best of all of us that have been on this game for so long, unfortunately, when you maintain for too long, you start, that gravity just going to keep pushing you back down. So from time to time, you're going to have to come back and boom, I needed to go again. Does that make sense? For how long? I don't know. I have seen people in the 70s that are, still doing this. Am I going to be doing that until I'm in the 70s? No. Can I? I don't know. Like, would I be just doing a maintenance at that point? I don't know. Right now, I am still thriving for more. Does that make sense? For more muscle mass, for a leaner, physique when I'm doing the cut, right? So more muscle definition. That's just, I just love that, right? But it should come to a point that you're just like, I'm happy. And I have had many clients got to that point. Like Kimberly, what's the name? Doily, she arrived and she's like, I am Patricia, I'm so happy where I'm at, girl. You have no idea. Only you know. But once if you are not there yet, then you can keep doing the reverse and the cut. It's primarily to support changing and improving your body composition. That's what the reverses and the cuts are.
But is there a place where you can look lean, but also not cutting?
Yeah. Yeah. If you can maintain that muscle mass, yes. Does that make sense? If you really can maintain the muscle mass, that is a challenge there, right? So how long? When I was in my 30s, I was able to. Danny was showing me a couple yesterday, and when you see girls, I'm gonna tell you, okay, I've been around these people for a long, long, long time. Fitness, all these people on social media. Nobody our age group have a super lean physique with tone and tight body if without just natural. I'm maybe like 1%. I don't even know what is the percentage. But you can see, like, as soon, and I can share with the photo, like I saw, I was like, babe, this is not natural. This guy's 56, she's 52. I'm not saying that they are on steroids, but I'm saying they are on several kind of different protocols between peptides and HRTs and different, you know what I'm saying? There is always something that these people are doing to look the way they are. Right? Plus the nutrition, plus this. It's not natural. It's not 100%. It's not that it's wrong. I've been on peptides. Does that make sense? It's not like peptides. It's actually is the thing nowadays. Right? And we do have a collaboration with the clinic that supports with peptides. I'm going to be taking, going to, there is a peptide called Tesamorelin. What is the name? Let me give you the name. That I just contacted the clinic to ask because my coach was like, I was like, girl, I'm having my wedding coming up. I wanted to flip and put a dress in I wanted my stomach to be, nice and tight. I'm not going to do, and I'm like, I just went on this flip and reverse and I gained 2 inches and it looks awful. And she was like, what's the name? She was like the Tesamorelin. It's a type of peptide that you got to inject, and it supports the fat on your gut, on your belly. Okay, I never done it before, so I can't tell you if it works. It doesn't work. Okay, so that's primarily for people that has that little extra final layer and wants to get rid of it. Supposedly this peptide will help. Now, any kind of peptides, any kind of, even steroids, okay, it will work miracles on male. But when it comes to females, it is not the same. In order for a female to get the same result with any kind of things like that, that a man gets in the same amount of time, it takes that woman taking a lot more than what would be for her to, in order for her to get that kind of results. Does that make sense? And now you have to be conscious, right? Of what is going to happen to your organs. Your liver needs to be in a good place. You need to be testing your blood work. It is an investment financially for you to really get to a place that you want to look a certain way. Does that make sense? If you are naturally, how can I say, gifted, if you will, at this age, right? Like we have a client, what's her name? Simon. She went in a whole year reverse, a whole entire year. All she did was like build. And then her cut, oh my gosh, like incredible cut. She got invited to be on the cover of a fitness magazine, and she's 49. See what I'm saying? She wasn't on anything besides testosterone, and that's it. And she hasn't spoken, she has given testimony, but testosterone has been her thing, and it helped her tremendously. But if she's in a really high dose, of her body handle. If I go on a high dose of testosterone, I start getting bald, spots, I start getting acne. So there, so there's limitations there, right? So the question is, how far do you want to go? How much do you want to invest to create that body that you want to do, right? Or do you want to get to a point that you're like, hey, I know I won't have that 6 packs. I know going to always have the little bit of the pouch. Can I be happy with that? Can I be happy with how I look overall, and and just accept that and maintain this? You got to know your goals there, right? Does that make sense? Am I answering your question?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, you totally have answered my question. I really appreciate that. It's just like you said, you have to define your own goals and figure out
You got to define your
and then whether you want to keep, I don't want to say the struggle, because it's not a struggle, but whether you want to keep that cycle going of
the cycle going over, right? And it can be tiring, right? For me, honestly, I absolutely loved to just be on this reverse since May. It's been awesome. It started to get a little comfortable. My clothes were getting tight. I was starting to like sit down and have rolls. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. And my face was, I'm like, okay, but I was like, it is what it is. I'm going to go for it. And now I'm excited to do the cut, right? And you are one of those. You could totally benefit from, a peptide. We did that with Darren on her last cut, and she looked fantastic. So there's
good. If I could look like her, I'd be very happy.
Right? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So, but once again, it wasn't natural. She took peptides for, I don't know, 6 months. See what I'm saying? We gotta help the body, girls, But remember, there's a difference between, someone that it needs to just lose the last 5, 6, 7 that is just stucking in there, and somebody that needs to lose 30, 40 pounds, right? So 2 different conversations. Does that make sense? And you got to stay in the game to be able to get to that place. But even when you get to that place, now you're gonna have to, if you want to get even better, then you're gonna have to get some help. You know, there is really not other way around. I haven't seen that, to be honest. Well, Priya, what is that face, the angry face there, Priya?
One more
Well,
thing that we have to hate the men for.
say that again.
One more thing that we have to hate on the men for. This is just unfair.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
honestly, today is so fun you saying this because today I was looking at this. Oh my gosh, you ready for this, girls? The list just keeps adding. Okay. So, um, did you know? Did you know who? How many of you eat leftovers? How many of you put a like, you know, right? And you put it in the refrigerator, maybe like 2 days. Maybe okay, how far do you eat from your leftovers? One day, put it in the comments. Let me see. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Look at that. Okay. How many days? How many days do you girls do leftovers? Tanya, 3 to 4 days. Laura, 2 to 3 days. 2 days max. Okay. 3, 4 to 5 days. Yeah. Holy cow. Okay. You ready? I'm like 5 days. Okay. Wow. Okay, listen to this. Um, as estrogen, okay, declines, the fun, you know, estrogen, we love estrogen, don't we? Um, it actually, the bacteria, okay, from the leftover foods, okay? So this is from Dr. Caroline, what's her name? Gosh, let me grab her name so I can give you reference and you're not gonna think I'm just taking this out of my Dr. Carrie Johns. Remember, she came and spoke for us. She's one of the professors from MMU. So anyway, so she was on a podcast and I was listening to her. Don't tell me that I can't please. Well, you can do all things, girl, but let me tell you what else they found, okay, with this. It keeps going, it keeps getting better, this whole menopause thing. You ready? So, the bacteria from the leftover foods that I don't need to tell you this, they are starting to grow, right? Like, it just happens, right? Even if it's in a refrigerator. So it creates a histamine reaction, okay, in our gut. Um, our gut is supposed to clear, okay, those bacteria through an enzyme called DAO, okay? So when this enzyme sees, okay, those bacteria in the body, it attacks their, like the histamine, growth, or how can I say, reaction. That enzyme goes and like, okay, we need to clean this thing out. Well, because of the lack of estrogen, the decline of estrogen, we start to lose that enzyme called DAO. Okay. So now guess what? The enzyme does not clean the histamine reaction from the bacteria. Okay. So, and because of that, it's not like you have a food poison or you have, anything that, food, but sometimes you're going to have more bloatedness because of that. Okay. And you're going to start having more food sensitivity. Who has food sensitivity? Who has, keep saying like, I eat this and then I feel like crap. I eat that. And then my stomach start growling. I eat that. And nobody, because I do, maybe because my tummy is a little bit more sensitive. But that's one of the things that happen, like Priya, right? I honestly, girls, my tummy is crazy because because I had issues before with it. But I noticed that, and I eat probably like 2 days maximum of food. And I'm like, I'm gonna do a test and I'm gonna really try. But my point is, it keeps adding, Priya. I'm so sorry, girl, to tell this, but it keeps adding. When it comes to the perimenopause, it's like there is a book, okay, you girls probably should read, because I know some of you ask what kind of book you should be reading. From this girl now, because now all the celebrities are into this, right? Because obviously, everybody can make money off of this too. But I love as far as everybody is pushing, to put the word out that we do need help, that we do need a better health system for women in perimenopause and menopause. I am all for it, right? Doesn't matter if they are just, doing their celebrity thing. But there is this lady named Tamsin Fadal. I think that's how I say it, the TV anchor or whatever. So she now became the celebrity of the women in perimenopause and menopause rate. She wrote a book, How to Menopause. I think it's already out. I haven't bought yet because I like to do the audiobook, so it's going to be released tomorrow. So supposedly this is a very, very, very good book, but it's going to be all about, all the symptoms, all this stuff, all this research. She has interviewed, I don't know how many doctors, and I'm like, okay, well, the doctors are not the ones that are helping us, but I'm curious to know what, those doctors had to say. So apparently those doctors she interviewed, of course, they were the ones. I'm not bashing doctors, okay? I think that, the ones that are actually educating themselves, they are very helpful. And so anyway, so this book supposedly to be great. The other book that I read is the Menopause Manifesto by Dr. Jen Gunter. It's a really good one too. And more like into the holistic way of things. So it's very insightful there. But this one from Tamsin Fadal apparently is the most recent research and the whole, all the crazy 120,000 list of symptoms and things that it keeps happening with women in our age group and all this scary crap, right? Of, even women that are in this age group are the ones that, commit suicide the most. So, it's very interesting to see how this whole thing is unfolding. But I think that's probably going to be a good read. I would definitely take a look into that book. But it just keeps adding, you see what I'm saying? And we just need to be patient with ourselves in this process because it's not going to be easy. It's one thing, another thing. Like for me, for example, I just started having some rashes here on my chin, and I'm like, okay, where's this coming from? Not an acne, is a rash. I have no idea what it is. Just those last couple of weeks, I have been waking up. I never wake up in the middle of the night. I take progesterone and everything. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I wake up. I'm not drenched in sweat, but I'm hot. I'm just hot. And I'm going to do my blood work on the 31st. I'm waiting. My period comes on the clock every month, but I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to do my blood work again. And I definitely am going to go on estrogen, but something else, right? Just a few weeks ago, I was in this flipping struggle bus with brain fog. And girls, you know me, like I mean, my nutrition, my workout, my walks, I mean, I'm crossing every T and dotting every I. Imagine for someone that don't have the resources that I have, because I'm literally I just text someone, is like, hey, I need this. Here we go. Let's order the blood work. I need this. Okay, send it to me. Boom. You see what I'm saying? So I have so much resources at the finger, literally the tip of my finger, and I'm still having to go through certain things. Imagine people that don't have that. And what I want to say is that if you have that here in this program, yes, I cannot pay for your blood work. That's $265 that your doctor probably won't order for you. But if they do, we will give you exactly what blood work you need to run. And you can have a consultation for free if your doctor doesn't want to help you. Normally it's $280. You have that support in the program. Does that make sense? Like, take advantage. Don't suffer in silence. Don't shrink back. Don't just think that you're the only one going through. If you are feeling down and you just like with this cloud over your head, it's not normal. You're not supposed to be going through that. You need to reach out for help. Does that make sense? Anybody wants to say anything, add on anything? Jenny, you had your camera off and now it's on. Does that mean you want to talk?
I was making dinner and then eating dinner with my girls, so I just didn't want that to be distracting. So now we're finished.
Oh, okay. I love seeing you, girl. Swati, anybody wants to say something? Go ahead, Swati.
Sure, I'll say something. So I will admit, like a couple months ago, maybe a month ago, I was frustrated. My pants were tight, it was on the reverse, and I was like, you know what? Like, I don't need this. I don't need this headache. I'm just gonna move on. And then I thought about it and I was like, but what would I move on to? Because everything I did before wasn't really working. And I thought, even doing the program poorly for like a week or two and getting back on the bus was better for me than it is to just say, this isn't working. And it was motivational to get back on. And I think the other piece that was really struggling with was, Patricia, you posted on Insta, my pants are tight. And that same week, I was like, man, my pants are tight. And I was like, I was bummed, mostly because I just want pants to wear. Not, not because I was like sad about what I was seeing in the mirror, but like you just want to get dressed and go about your day. And
Yeah.
I did have this feeling like, are my pants supposed to be tight? Like, are they tight because I didn't get all my steps in? Or I didn't drink all my water, like, because I'm not like an A+ student. I'm like a solid B+ student. I hit my macros. I get like 3 out of 4 workouts in. And then I was like, wait, Patricia's pants are tight. Like, maybe I'm not doing it totally wrong, even if I'm not doing it perfect. So I think those are my 2 take homes. Like, one, like, this works. Even in the, like, it works better than anything else I've ever done. So even when it's annoying, I just have to
It is
remind
annoying.
myself that it works.
Oh my God. Swati, you just blasted me, girl, right now. Seriously. And this is what I have been, okay, this is my fault, and I gotta apologize to ladies. I get to share a little bit more in the group because there are certain things that I can't share on social media. Number one, my fiance would not like for me to share my butt, my tummy, like it's like, so there's that. But I can post it on the group, right? As long as the group is my group, I can be naked on my group if I want to. I mean, don't share my stuff, okay? But I want to, I have a post that is ready about my reverse, and it wasn't pretty. I was pretty embarrassed. Like going into the gym and doing abs in the gym, and my roll, like, I'm like, what the heck is this in my face? And I was literally feeling like you girls, like, when you do, I went all in. I'm 5'2", eating 2,100 calories. Like, I haven't done that in the long flipping time. I don't even remember last time. But let me see if I can find a couple of pictures here just to share, because you can cover up really good on social media, but boy, when you pull that pants down and you can't tie, I went for dinner with Danny. I couldn't, I had to unbutton my pants. Literally, I had to unbutton my pants. And I'm like, I'm not going to buy new clothes because I'm going to go into a cut soon. But it was so uncomfortable. Where's the flipping photos? I had to unbutton my pants. I had to go to an event at my church, and my dress had it was like a button all the way, right? And I couldn't close the flipping button here. No matter what I did, the button wouldn't flip and close. And I had to, it took me forever to fit that dress in. And I was like, like, I was like, okay, either I'm gonna go into this cut or I'm gonna have to buy new clothes. And of course I refused to do that. But I've been through this so many times that I already know what the drill is. Gosh, give me a second here, girls. I know we have 4 minutes. While I shared this, I look for this photo so I can share with you girls. Anybody has anything else to share? And I tell, Coach Lindsay and Coach Holly all the time, like, we gotta be sharing more about our own struggles and what we are going through, because I don't want that's never been my goal to try to pretend I'm perfect in any way for you. or make this sound like it is so easy that look at this photo here. I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see this? Do you see how I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm gonna post for sure on the group. But this is like my outfit was just so tight. My boobs were like literally popping out. Hold on.
Doesn't even look that bad though.
That photo doesn't, but I have
That's exactly what I
You
thought.
don't feel good,
Yes.
Trisha, you look good. You look really
girls.
good.
No.
Wait, what are you talking about? Where's that roll?
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So this
Show
was
us
one of
again, what
my-
rule?
Okay, so this was a cut, right? So this was my last successful cut. Okay. This wasn't me 124. Okay, I wasn't even 126. So I made sure that I took the same position. The only thing I changed was my bra, but the same bikini. Okay, look at that. Okay, my face, my butt, like I literally gained 2.5 inches probably on my waist, on this cut. But I gained 2.5 on my butt. Let's go. I really wanted to grow my booty. So I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm like, if I have to choose now between the butt and the gut, I'm going with the butt for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well,
Then
that's
you
what
take-
I found when my butt went from flabby to like firm after doing a couple around in reverse. And because of that, my pant size is bigger because I built the muscle in my booty and my thighs. But my body composition looks way better than when it did when it was flabby and loose and not pretty,
Yeah.
right? So
So that's something that I found too. I'm not on a cut or anything, but I feel that I'm bigger for some reason. But the clothes look better. I don't know how to explain that. I've seen that, and the scale doesn't move as me and Patricia and Holly know. Nothing moves in my case. It's just happy being in that same spot and look at it every day and annoyed. But generally, I feel that I've become bigger. I don't know how to say that, but it's not flab. I can tell that because when I look at myself, I wore the same dress like a few months ago, and now I can see the leanness or however it looks great. That's what I have to say. So
it is the
we
body
pop in.
composition. It is the body comp, girls. And that's the thing. We have another client that she was just going bananas because she's like, I'm heavier than when I came into the program. How do I know, that this is muscle? How do you know if it is muscle, girls? How do you know? You should know this answer.
I
Is it
feel like
tighter?
Yeah.
What is
I-
it?
At
Is
least
it tighter?
my thighs are much tighter than what they were before the
Okay.
cut.
All right. Anybody else? Your guess?
Yeah,
There you go,
I think
Swati.
Swati's got an answer in the,
Yeah, Swati got the answer.
yeah.
So, and I was like, how do you know? Easy. It is easy. You go and you check your measurements from when you first start, especially on a waistline, if that's the area, your trouble area. And sure enough, she's 2.5, 3 inches less. I'm like, who cares? Your scale. Does that make sense? So you put on some solid muscle. But the point is, no matter how much we tell you girls, you stay stuck with the scale. Imagine if I was going to flip and freak out at 126 and 2 inches over my waist, but I knew that 2 inches and six to even 10 pounds, if I could go to 10 pounds and my waist would stay at 2, I would probably have gone over I would just stay on my reverse. But as soon as I bumped my calories a little bit more, then I was on a bulk, my waist just went up 0.5 inch and I was like, I can't, because I know how hard it's going to be for me to lose that waist. Does that make sense? So you are on a very controlled environment. If your weight is going up, but the measurements are staying solid, this is what you want. That's body comp. Your metabolism is boosting. Trust me. And if you go down and you start just losing some inches here and your body composition is improving, even if the scale doesn't go down, even when I did my cut and I lost a pound, I still looked better. You see what I'm saying? So we need to shift the mindset, girls, into stop thinking that the scale is the only way to measure this thing. You are not on a weight loss program. That's why it's right there on the flipping, checking form. This is not a weight loss program. This is not a weight loss program. You told me that you want to be toned and tight. You can't accomplish that with weight loss. You're going to be skinny, fat, and flabby. Which one do you prefer? The skinny, flat, flabby, or heavier in the weight, toned and tight? It's your choice. Whatever you want. But when you talked to me first, you said tone and tight. So I'm giving you the tone and tight recipe. And then you were going bananas on me, then you want the weight loss recipe. That's not, I can't give you that. I don't have that for you. Does that make sense? I mean, I could. Even with the girls that are going on GLP, I'm like, we're gonna continue reversing you the GLP. What? But I'm taking GLP so I can lose weight. The GLP is just gonna help with the weight loss resistance. That's all it's gonna do. We're gonna still reverse you. And then when we cut, you're gonna lose, because before when we cut, you didn't lose. Now you will, but we're gonna still reverse you first. It doesn't change. The process doesn't change. Does that make sense? And don't judge, please. Don't judge them, because you don't know where people are. You know what I mean? As long as they're doing the right way. You never know. There's things in my life that I said I would never do it, ended up doing it. Like do not judge, right? It's just all I say. Okay, final words. It's 6:03. I would love to hear it, at least, is this helping? Was this a little bit more like, is this something that you ladies wants to go more in this direction? Like, how do you girls want this calls to be? What direction do you want? Please, I need feedback in the name of God. Talk to me.
I'll go. So this is my first one that I've actually made since I started the official program. Obviously, I did all the calls during the challenge. But it's been really hard, getting back to real life, not as part of a challenge, and integrating everything and still keeping on schedule with my girls and everything. And even today, like I said, I was literally at the table eating with them with my phone audio, so they could listen to that and talk to themselves. But it's been really good. I feel like not so much that I've been stuck, but just maybe a little bit frustrated. I'm kind of impatient on the reverse. I really am ready to start seeing the results that I can feel with the muscle building. But I feel like this call has been just really helpful, kind of with everyone feeling, kind of being on the same page.
I love that. And I'm going to tell you something, girls. I'm going to start pushing, the flush on a reverse for you girls, because I have seen that being a major difference for people before they go into a cut. Okay. So I'm going, Coach Seema, you wanna share a little bit of your experience on the flush?
Hi, ladies. Sorry, I was driving. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just did the cut. It was 2 weeks ago that I finished the cut, and
No, the flush.
yeah, sorry, the flush. And I have been with Patricia for what, 3 years, 4 years now, 4 years almost. Okay, this is the first time I did it. I don't know. We never pushed it. We never really talked about it. I also never volunteered. Okay, I was like, this is definitely going to be challenging, and I wasn't like, hey, I should do it. So she didn't say it, I didn't do it, I didn't ask, right? And but I was like, you know what, I need to do this and see what it does. And I was kind of skeptical. I was like, what is this really gonna do, right? This is okay, let's just try it. And the first 2 days, I thought I was gonna die. It was very painful. My head hurt a lot because of probably the caffeine and the sugar, because I like to drink a Diet Coke. I didn't say that out loud, but I do. And I drink chai in the morning every day. And so it was hard. I was extremely nauseous. I had a very bad headache. I was dysfunctional. For 2 days, I was basically just laying flat on the couch, and it was terrible. And I thought, I'm never doing this again. And I hate Patricia. I hate you. I was very mad. Okay. I was like cursing your name on the hour. And the 2 gallons of water, I mean, I just pretty much, when I wasn't laying flat, was on a toilet. It was really not fun. And then, a week went by and I was like, I don't know. What is
And
this
I want
really
all of you to
doing?
do that.
Huh? What?
And I want all of you to do that.
I know.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
not helping.
People
Okay,
are
but then
like, what the
a week,
fuck?
yeah, they're like, we're done with this call. Okay, and
We're
then a
done.
week into it, I was like, okay, great. Like, what is this doing? I'm not really sure, but obviously I carried on and I did it. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, she goes, so how do you feel? I was like, I don't know, I feel good. Like, I guess, like, I wasn't still like, anything major. I was like, I'm sure it was good for me, right? Like, but then I was like, but I'm not going to go back to drinking caffeine. I'm just going to stay on this. This feels good. And then about 4 days later, I texted her randomly in the middle of the day and I was like, oh, wait, I have a ridiculous amount of more energy than I have had. My stomach looks flatter. I I feel better. Like, I feel there's definitely the weight. Something happened on my back, of where I always had this like fatty roll on the back of my, you know, hips or whatever on the love handles. Like, it came down and I was like, oh, something happened. Like, something definitely happened. And so I've not gone back to drinking Diet Coke. I've not gone back to the caffeine. I have kept my dairy to a minimum, because I think all the inflammation that was going on in my body has like calmed down. So some of it, everything that I kept thinking was fat, is some of it I think was inflammation. And I think, like,
Oh,
I
wow, it
feel
was.
better, right? I feel better. I look better. I look like, every year my mom always has a comment when she comes to see me. This year she was like, oh, like, you look really good. Like, you can see that love handle has like come down. And I was like,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
this is progress. So I highly, highly, highly recommend you all do the flush if you have not done it. And it really made me rethink. Like, it was like a reset, right? And I told you this, Patricia, that it was like a mental reset of like how I'm approaching food and what exactly I'm eating, because I've been doing it, but then in my attempt to like get the protein in and like hit my macros, I was like, oh, I can't eat that orange. The orange is too many macros. And like, I'm saving my macros because I really want to have rice because I'm Indian and I like my rice. And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to save it. And now I'm like, oh my God, like, I ate so much more fruits and vegetables. And I eat fruits and vegetables to begin with, like a fair amount, but I ate way more. And I think that was like kind of like just a reset of my approach to everything. That like,
Love
this
it.
is long term. You
Yeah.
got to just it's all in, like, but it comes in stages and phases, right? Like, you can't, like the girl who just spoke was like, it's hard, right? Like, it's pieces, right? Slowly adding one thing at a time to
Yeah.
like get to this point, right? Like, it's not necessarily that you're going to do it all at once, but I highly recommend the flush.
I love it. And honestly, girls, because I think that's gonna prime the body. That's what it really does. It primes the body for the cut. Your mind is gonna shift your mindset right away into eating just certain kind of foods, because that's what it takes for you to have a successful cut. So I honestly think that the flush, once a year is, because it's going to keep helping you with the inflammation. That's the main thing. And it's going to upregulate your hormones, it's going to support your thyroid, it's going to support blood sugar levels. It is absolutely, honestly, it is, but it is a pain in the butt. The first 2 days you hate it. You hate me. That's fine. but then you're gonna love me. That's all that I care. You know what I mean? So with that being said, thank you, Coach Seema, for sharing. We will be discussing a little bit more because I'll share with you on when we meet tomorrow, like how it's going to be the structure of this calls moving forward. The girls, we did a poll and they gave us, a lot of feedback. I would like more feedback on this, girls. But thank you so much for showing up for this call this week. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Keep doing this. We got, and go through the processes, okay? But don't stop. Summer is around the corner. Let's go. Talk to you later. Woo-hoo. Bye.